Doctor Who Mawdryn Undead, the 10th story of the 5th Doctor, is written by Peter Grimwade and starring Peter Davidson, Sarah Sutton, Janet Fielding, Mark Strickson and Nicholas Courtney, the first in the Black Guardian trilogy. This story was a replacement for an earlier script, The Song of Space Whale, written by Pat Mills. That script fell through when Mills and Eric Saywood could not agree on certain elements of the story. Instead, Peter Grimwade quickly produced Mawdryn Undead to fill the gap in the production schedule. The Song of the Space Whale was later called The Song of Megaptera and adapted into Big Finish audio in Doctor Who The Lost Stories. The story also brings back Nicholas Courtney as Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. Yes! First time return since Terror of the Zygons. That wasn't the original plan. Originally, Ian Chesterton was to return, but William Russell wasn't available. Some consideration was given to using instead the character of Harry Sullivan. In the return of Brigadier was decided. So the story begins with Turlough and his friend Hippo decide to nick Brigadier's antique car and going for a drive. After an accident, Turlough ends up in a limbo, and Black Guardian orders him to destroy the Doctor, and we also learn that Turlough isn't from Earth, and Brigadier is working as a school teacher.
Destroying one of the most evil creatures in the universe. He calls himself the Doctor.
Meanwhile, Tegan is still suffering trauma from Mara incident, so the TARDIS arrived in the spaceship. I love the fact that the computer looked like something off a video game in the 2009's effects. So after Turlough got in trouble off the headmaster and escaped from the hospital, he and Hippo goes on a run until Turlough goes inside a ship and disappeared, and it freaks Hippo out. So he runs to the Brigadier. Turlough is on the same spaceship as the Doctor, Nessa and Tegan. He goes inside the TARDIS, and this is where the Doctor meets him. So after landing on Earth to get rid of the transmat interference trapping the TARDIS on the liner, which isn't far from school grounds, the Doctor took Turlough with him to sort out the device, and we get a crazy cliffhanger where Turlough was about to hit the Doctor in the back of the head with a large rock. But the device explodes, the Doctor falls backwards, and the rock flew off Turlough's hands, and he has no idea what to do that time. All of a sudden, the TARDIS disappeared from 1983 and reappeared in 1977, the year when the first Star Wars movie came out. And ironically, Return of the Jedi came out 1983. So the TARDIS came from the year where the last of the original trilogy came out to the first of the original trilogy came out. I would be so amazed if I was the very first person to point that trivia out. So Tegan and Nessa finds a transmat capsule and found the guy who seems badly burnt, believed to be the Doctor. So they brought him inside the TARDIS and arrived on Earth. Tegan meets a young Brigadier for help. Nessa is alone with the so-called Doctor. Back in 1983, going back to the future, the Doctor reunites with Brigadier, who apparently lost his memory. Turlough's back in hospital room and encountered with the Black Guardian again. So Turlough escapes. As the Doctor is inside the quarters, the Doctor mentions his past companions: Joe Grant, Liz Shaw, Sarah Jane Smith, Sergeant Benton, Harry Sullivan. To the Brigadier as he's remembering, and the flashbacks of previous story like the Yeti, Cybermen from the Invasion, Patrick Troughton, the Master, Silurian, Axons, Daleks, John Pertwee, TARDIS, William Hartnell on the Monitor, K1 Robot and a Zygon, and Tom Baker, and also Brigadier during his time at UNIT. The colouring and the music is really nicely done, it's so emotional. Then Brigadier remembers as the Doctor is making a cup of tea.
Well, bless my soul. So you've done it again, Doctor.
So he tries to get to the bottom on what happened to Tegan and Nessa at the TARDIS in 1977. So in that time, Tegan brought Brigadier to the TARDIS, seeing Mawdryn looking okay at first, claiming he's the Doctor who regenerated, and then wore the 4th Doctor's coat from season 18. But all of a sudden he looks like a walking corpse with brains sticking out. Ugh! Peter Davidson, again, is great as the 5th Doctor. I really love Sarah Sutton and Janet Fielding as Nessa and Tegan Javanka. I thought Lucy Baker and Cyan Pattenden really pulled off playing the young Nessa and Tegan. It's really nice to see Nicholas Courtney again as the Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. Mark Strickson plays Junior as Cyan Commander Vislor Tolo, a Trian who has a mission to kill the Doctor ordered by Black Guardian, but then he became the companion instead. I really like Tolo. I'd love to see more of him on screen. Apparently Mark Strickson had blonde hair. John Nathan Turner wanted to change it as it was too similar to Peter Davidson's. So originally he was to shave his head, but Mark said no, so his hair was dyed red instead. Which I think it suits him. Valentine Dial returns as the Black Guardian since the Key to Time season, which is cool, as I really like the character. Apparently the creator of the character, Graham Williams, wasn't aware that he returned until years later during an onstage interview at a Doctor Who convention. David Collins plays Mawdryn, the leader of a group of scientists that try to find Time Lord's secret of regeneration. I thought he's a pretty cool villain. I hope we see more of those scientists in future, and it's a pity that David Collins didn't play the Doctor, as I thought he would have been so good. It is often reported that Mawdryn is the Welsh word for mortuary. This is not correct. The Welsh word for mortuary is Maudie, according to sites I've been searching up. Plus, Collins previously played Vorus in Revenge of the Cybermen, Poole in Robots of Death, an alternative version of the Doctor in the Big Finish audio Doctor Who Unbound, Full Phantom 5. Angus MacKay, who previously played Barusa in The Deadly Assassin, plays Mr. Selleck, headmaster at Brendan Public School. He's great too. The character's name is only mentioned in the novel adaptation, never on screen. Stephen Garlick plays Hippo Ibbotson, Tolo's friend from Brendan Public School. Great performance. The character was never being identified with a first real name, either in Mawdryn Undead or any spin-off media. Roger Hammond plays Dr. Peter Runciman, a physician. Sheila Gill plays Miss Cassidy, a matron. Her name is never said on screen. She's only credited as matron, but the name is given only in the novel. That's written by Peter Grimwaite. There's great casting. I really love the music by Paddy Kingsland, especially the car scene at the beginning of part 1.
You're on the wrong side of the road, sir!
So while Mawdryn is pretending to be the Doctor suffering a regeneration side effect, he got Brigadier Tegan and Nessa to bring the TARDIS to the spaceship, saying it has restorative capabilities. The Doctor, Tolo and 1983 Brigadier use a TARDIS homing device on the damaged transmat to bring themselves to the spaceship, splitting up soon after to find Nessa and Tegan. The scene where Black Guardian appears in the picture frame was really clever. I love it.
While the Doctor is still alive, I am never far from you.
After the Doctor came to the TARDIS and found Nessa and Tegan, he finds out that there's 2 Brigadiers from different times are on the ship, so he orders Nessa and Tegan to find Brigadiers and stop them from meeting each other. Mawdryn tricks the 1983 Brigadier into using a stolen Time Lord device to stabilise his condition. So TARDIS team found the 1983 Brigadier, and Mawdryn reveals his fellow scientists. He tried to steal the secret of regeneration from the Time Lords, but caused perpetual mutations, leaving them practically immortal, but in a horrible agony. Tegan was followed by an army of Mawdryn's mutated crewmates. Mawdryn tells the Doctor to help them die by giving them his regeneration energy. The Doctor wouldn't do it, as if he did so, it would mean the end of him as a Time Lord. He mentions he can only regenerate 12 times, and he already did 4 times, which is what we thought at the time. Before Riversong passed on the regeneration, Time Lords granted him another cycle, and it later said that the Doctor is the timeless child, so he has to help the mutants die, which consume the rest of his regenerations. However, Mawdryn said that the only thing they desire is their deaths rather than the Doctor's murder, but the Doctor wouldn't do it. Meanwhile, Tolo has found 1977 Brigadier and locked him up, but Brigadier got himself free. As the Doctor leaves in the TARDIS with Brigadier, Tegan and Nessa, it was discovered that Nessa and Tegan were mutating, and then the second time they rejuvenated into children, as they're infected by the same Mawdryn and his army did, so they had to go back to reverse. The only thing the Doctor can do to cure them is to do what Mawdryn says. The Doctor must give up the rest of his regeneration, so he gets hooked onto Mawdryn's apparatus. The Doctor is about to sacrifice himself, and we get a strange scene where 2 Brigadiers meet each other, and Tolo tried stopping 1977 version, and it's so bizarre. After they touched each other's hands, it caused discharge of temporal energy at precisely the right instant to act as a substitute power source. Tegan and Nessa are cured, Mawdryn and his crew are finally rest in peace, and the Doctor is still a Time Lord, by the look of things. Brigadier from 1977 won't remember until 1983, when he meets the Doctor again. In the TARDIS, 1983 Brigadier is in the centre of the TARDIS, while 1977 Brigadier passed out and got dropped back off in his time at school grounds. So 1983 Brigadier gets dropped back off in his time, Turlo is in the TARDIS and he's becoming a companion, and Mawdryn's ship gets blown up. Brilliant story. What did you think of Mawdryn Undead? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.